Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Valsa Williams and with me is Anuja Kumar with the Midday News. The headlines. Government is fully prepared to deal with the growing challenges of the COVID pandemic, reassures Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan. Centre advises union ministries and their PSUs to dedicate their hospital beds for COVID-19 management in states and union territories. Over 11 crore 72 lakh doses of COVID vaccine administered in the country so far. Over 2 lakh 17,000 new COVID-19 cases reported in the past 24 hours. Complete lockdown on Sunday in entire Uttar Pradesh. Only emergency services and sanitation work allowed in the state. Essential Services Maintenance Act (ESMA) invoked in Chhattisgarh amidst surge in COVID cases. Russia to deliver first batch of Sputnik V vaccine to India this month. All centrally protected monuments, sites and museums under Archaeological Survey of India closed till 15th May. All preparations in place for tomorrow's fifth phase polling of assembly elections in West Bengal, by-elections of 2 Lok Sabha seats and 12 assembly constituencies spread over 9 states. Election Commission to hold all-party meeting today in West Bengal to discuss election campaign during the pandemic. India Meteorological Department IMD projects normal rainfall in the country this year during the monsoon season. And in IPL cricket, Punjab Kings to take on Chennai Super Kings in Mumbai this evening. As the number of COVID cases is on the rise again, we appeal to our listeners not to lower their guard, follow all precautions and all those above 45 years to get vaccinated without any hesitation. Stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. Health and Family Welfare Minister Dr. Harshvardhan has reassured the nation that the government is fully prepared to deal with the growing challenges of the COVID pandemic. Although the cases are rising in the country, he said there is no shortage of essential items like medical oxygen and ventilators. He added that the government is continuously ramping up its medical infrastructure. The minister will hold a meeting tomorrow with the health ministers of states where the cases are rising at a rapid pace.
कल मैं सभी विशेष रूप से जो कंट्रीब्यूट करने वाले स्टेट्स हैं उनके स्वास्थ्य मंत्रियों के साथ दोपहर में वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस के माध्यम से कहां-कहां देश में बेड्स की कमी हो सकती है या कमी है या जिसके कारण किसी भी प्रकार से पेशेंट्स को तकलीफ महसूस हो रही है उसको कैसे रैंप अप करना है इसके बारे में हम लोग सब सामूहिक रूप से कल विचार करेंगे और इसी प्रकार से सोमवार को सारे अपने जो एम्स हैं देश के उनके साथ भी वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस करके हम एम्स के माध्यम से कोविड के खिलाफ जंग को और ज्यादा कैसे देश भर में स्ट्रेंथन करना है, एम्स में कैसे कोविड से रिलेटेड जो लड़ाई है उसकी फैसिलिटीज को और रैंप अप करना है उसकी भी सारी की सारी तैयारी करेंगे.
On alleged shortage of remdesivir in the country, the minister said the government has asked manufacturers to increase production of remdesivir. He said enforcement authorities of states and drug controllers have been asked to take action on incidents of black marketing, hoarding and overcharging for remdesivir.
सारे देश के स्टेट ड्रग कंट्रोलर्स को सख्त इंस्ट्रक्शन की गई है कि रेमडेसिविर के संदर्भ में किसी भी प्रकार की कोई होर्डिंग कर रहा है या कोई काला बाजारी कर रहा है, पेशेंट को एक्सप्लॉइट कर रहा है तो उसके खिलाफ जितनी भी सख्त से सख्त सजा है वो उसको देनी चाहिए. जनता के लोगों को भी हमारे को ये अपील करनी है कि ऐसी शिकायतों को आप अपने अपने स्टेट्स में स्टेट ड्रग कंट्रोलर्स के पास भी भेजिए और अगर हमारे भारत सरकार के अंदर भी ऐसी शिकायतें आएंगी स्पेसिफिक टू इंस्टेंसेस, प्लेसेस और पीपल, वी विल टेक स्ट्रिक्ट एक्शन अगेंस्ट सच पीपल. आई कैन अश्योर यू दैट.
Dr. Harshvardhan visited AIIMS Trauma Center facility in New Delhi today. The minister will visit various healthcare facilities over the next few days to assess and further scale up facilities in the wake of rising COVID-19 cases. The health minister said India is better equipped to tackle the COVID situation this time around in comparison to last year. Yet he said the casual approach and laxity by people towards COVID-19 appropriate behavior resulted in the sudden spike. He stressed on the need for strict adherence of COVID appropriate behavior.
कोविड अप्रोप्रिएट बिहेवियर को किसी भी कीमत पर हम ना भूलें। समय जब वैक्सीनेशन भी साथ साथ चल रहा है, हमको कोविड अप्रोप्रिएट बिहेवियर यानी मास्क, साबुन से हाथ धोना और 2 गज की दूरी और जो उस पर स्प्रे बड़े भीड़ वाले इवेंट्स हैं, इनको अवॉइड करना है। मजबूरी में जाना भी पड़ता है तो भी जो है प्रिकॉशंस को नहीं छोड़ना है। तो हमें पूरा विश्वास है कि जिस तरह से 2020 में कोविड के खिलाफ लड़ाई को हम लोगों ने एक सफलता की चरम सीमा तक पहुंचाया था, वैसे ही ये फेज भी जो अभी आया है, ये फेज भी हमारा निकल जाएगा और इस लड़ाई में भी जो चैलेंजेस हैं उनको हम पूरी तरह से ओवरकम करने में सफल होंगे।
The Union Health Ministry has advised the central ministries and their PSUs to dedicate their hospital beds for COVID-19 management in states and union territories. It has also asked them to provide details of such dedicated hospitals and special blocks to the public. In a letter written to the central ministries, the Union Health Secretary has reiterated that the present situation of sudden surge in the COVID cases across the country calls for similar supportive action as last year from every quarter. The Health Ministry has instructed that these dedicated hospitals or blocks should have separate entry and exit points to provide treatment services, including specialized care for the confirmed COVID-19 cases. Additionally, these should be equipped to provide all supportive and ancillary services, including oxygen-supported beds, ICU beds, ventilators and specialized critical care units, laboratory services, imaging services, kitchen and laundry, among others, along with dedicated health workforce. The Union Health Ministry has said that 100 beds in the country will have their own oxygen plants under Prime Minister's Citizen Assistance and Relief in Emergency Situations PM CARES Fund. The decision was taken at a meeting of Empowered Group 2, which was held yesterday to review the availability of essential medical equipment and oxygen during COVID. The ministry said pressure swing adsorption plants manufacture oxygen and help hospitals become self-sufficient in medical oxygen. The Empowered Group 2 has directed the Health Ministry to identify 100 hospitals in far-flung locations for consideration of sanction for installation of PSA plants. The Health Ministry in a statement said that medical oxygen is a critical component in the treatment of COVID patients. There has been increasing demand for medical oxygen, especially from states like Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, Delhi, Chhattisgarh, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Punjab, Haryana and Rajasthan. We have more from our correspondent.
In view of increasing demand for medical oxygen, the Empowered Group has also decided to float a tender for import of 50,000 metric tons of medical oxygen. The Health Ministry has been directed to finalize the tender. It has also been asked to explore possible sources for import identified by the missions of Ministry of External Affairs. The Empowered Group 2 is monitoring the situation of demand and supply of medical oxygen continuously to ensure that all necessary steps are taken to support the uninterrupted supply of medical oxygen. Anand Kumar, AIR News, Delhi.
Over 11 crore 72 lakh 23,000 doses of COVID vaccine have been administered to beneficiaries in the country so far. The Union Health Ministry said more than 27 lakh 30,000 doses were given to beneficiaries in the last 24 hours. The Health Ministry said 2 lakh 17,353 new cases have been reported in the country in the past 24 hours, taking the cumulative positive cases to over 1 crore 42 lakh. 1,185 deaths have also been reported, taking the toll to 1,74,308 across the country so far. The country's COVID-19 recovery rate declined to 87.80%, with the total recovery of more than 1,18,000 patients in the last 24 hours. The ministry said over 1 crore 25 lakh patients have already recovered from the disease. Presently, the total number of active cases in the country is over 15 lakh 69,000, which comprises only 10.98% of the total positive cases. Lieutenant Governor of Delhi, Anil Baijal, today reviewed the enforcement of COVID-appropriate behavior and preparedness before the implementation of weekend curfew in the national capital. Mr. Baijal directed the Chief Secretary to ensure setting up of helplines to provide information about the availability of beds in the hospitals. He also asked to establish help desks to assist patients and attendants in every hospital. The Delhi government has imposed weekend curfew in the national city, which will begin at 10 p.m. tonight and will continue till 6 a.m. of Monday morning.
The Uttar Pradesh government has announced a complete closure on every Sunday in the entire state. The decision was taken by Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath after reviewing the COVID situation in the state with senior officers. He said that only emergency services and sanitation work, along with awareness drive, will continue on Sunday in the state. This complete closure will be applicable on rural and urban areas as well. The Chief Minister has ordered very strict punishment for people who are roaming without masks. For the first-time offenders, the penalty will be 1,000 rupees, and on the second time, the penalty will be 10,000 rupees. The state is currently having more than 1 lakh active COVID cases. The state government has taken a slew of measures to stop the spread of virus further. More from our correspondent.
OPD services in all government hospitals across the state have been suspended from today till next orders. Although emergency services will be functional, government has said that cases under Epidemic Act will be filed against those hospitals who refuse to admit COVID-positive patients. Meanwhile, to deal with the grave situation of COVID in state capital Lucknow, Balrampur Hospital and KGMU have been turned into a dedicated COVID hospital. Chief Minister ordered that 1,000-bedded temporary hospital for COVID treatment will be prepared at the Defence Expo ground in Lucknow. Medical kits containing COVID medicine for at least 1 week will be provided to every COVID-positive person in the state who is in home isolation. Chief Minister said that there is no dearth of medicines in state for COVID treatment. He ordered Chief Secretary of State to review and ensure the availability of remdesivir injection in state. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
Amidst rising COVID-19 cases in Maharashtra, the state is conducting vaccination drive on a war footing. More than 369,000 people were vaccinated in the state yesterday, which included frontline and healthcare workers and people above 45 years of age. A report from our Mumbai correspondent.
The State Health Department said more than 282,000 people above 45 years of age were administered the first dose yesterday, while 53,060 people under the same category were given the second jab. 24,180 frontline workers were given the jab, out of which 15,376 and 8,804 received the first and the second doses respectively. Pune with 59,190 witnessed the highest number of doses administered, followed by Mumbai with 50,930 doses. Thane stands third in the tally with 32,085 doses administered. Meanwhile, more than 7,500 citizens are being vaccinated every day in Navi Mumbai Municipal Corporation area, with total number of 1,70,270 people being vaccinated till date. The cumulative figure of vaccination in the state till today stands at 1,15,21,300. Devapriya Bhattacharjee, AIR News, Mumbai.
In Telangana, the surge in the number of COVID cases continues unabated in the state. The state has reported 3,840 fresh cases during the past 24 hours. With this, the number of cases reported in the state so far has gone up to over 3,41,800. With over 1,198 more people recovering from COVID-19, the total recoveries in the state have gone up to over 3,09,500. Over 1,68,000 people have been vaccinated on a single day yesterday in the state. With this, over 26,26,000 people have been vaccinated so far in the state.
In Kerala, mass COVID testing campaign is going on as the state government is planning to conduct 2.5 lakh COVID tests in 2 days. A report from our Thiruvananthapuram correspondent.
District administration in all the 14 districts is coordinating the mass testing drive across the state. The worst COVID-hit districts of Ernakulam, Kozhikode, Malappuram, Thiruvananthapuram, etc. are witnessing large queues in the COVID testing centres from the morning. Mobile RT-PCR testing units are deployed in hotspots. In the special testing drive, focus is mainly on frontline workers, those participated in election activities and those in COVID hotspots. Meanwhile, Kerala continues to report high surge in COVID cases as 8,126 new COVID cases were confirmed last day. There are presently 63,650 active COVID cases in Kerala. Mayusha for AR News from Thiruvananthapuram.
Amidst a rapid surge in COVID cases, Chhattisgarh government has invoked the Essential Services Maintenance Act, ESMA. More details from our Raipur correspondent.
According to an order issued by the State Home Department, now the refusal to work in essential services have been prohibited. This order will be applicable on doctors, nurses and other health workers in all government and private health institutions as well as on workers involved in sanitation. Refusal for work in sale, manufacturing and transportation of medical equipment, medicines and drugs, operation of ambulance services, water and power supply services will also be prohibited. Vikalp Shukla, AIR News, Raipur.
In view of the prevailing COVID-19 situation, the centre has decided to close all the centrally protected monuments, sites and museums under Archaeological Survey of India with immediate effect. In a tweet, Culture Minister Prahlad Patel said these monuments will be closed till the 15th of May.
Railway Board Chairman Sunit Sharma has assured everyone that Indian Railways will continue to operate all its trains and there is no reason for anyone to believe in rumours. Briefing media in New Delhi today, Mr. Sharma said the railways have not curtailed any train service in the recent times, while on the contrary, more than 140 trains have been added to clear the rush in the current festive season. Speaking about the COVID coaches provided by the Indian Railways as an alternate arrangement to hospitalization due to surge in COVID cases, Mr. Sharma informed that nearly 4,000 COVID coaches are ready with the railways and would be placed at appropriate locations as and when a demand is raised by the state governments. He said currently around 20 COVID coaches are deployed in Nandurbar district in Maharashtra as per the demand raised by the state government. Indian ambassador to Russia, Bela Venkatesh Verma, has said that the first batch of Russia's COVID-19 vaccine, Sputnik V, will be delivered to India this month. Mr. Venkatesh said that the volume of vaccine production in India will be gradually increasing and may exceed 50 million doses per month. Russian Deputy Envoy to India, Roman Babushkin, had on Wednesday said that Sputnik vaccine emergency use approval by India will open up a new dimension in the special partnership. Russia's Sputnik V got approval from the Subject Expert Committee for Emergency Use Authorization, making it the third COVID-19 vaccine to get clearance in India. You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Government is fully prepared to deal with the growing challenges of the COVID pandemic, reassures Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan. Centre advises union ministries and their PSUs to dedicate their hospital beds for COVID-19 management in states and union territories. Over 11 crore 72 lakh doses of COVID vaccine administered in the country so far. Over 2 lakh 17,000 new COVID-19 cases reported in the past 24 hours. Complete lockdown on Sundays in entire Uttar Pradesh. Only emergency services and sanitation work allowed in the state. Essential Services Maintenance Act ESMA invoked in Chhattisgarh amid surge in COVID cases. Russia to deliver first batch of Sputnik V vaccine to India this month. All centrally protected monuments, sites and museums under Archaeological Survey of India closed till 15th May. All preparations in place for tomorrow's fifth phase of polling assembly elections in West Bengal, by elections of 2 Lok Sabha seats and 12 assembly constituencies spread over 9 states. Election Commission to hold all-party meeting today in West Bengal to discuss election campaign during the pandemic. India Meteorological Department IMD projects normal rainfall in the country this year during the monsoon season. And in IPL cricket, Punjab Kings to take on Chennai Super Kings in Mumbai this evening. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
Welcome back to the Midday News. West Bengal Chief Electoral Officer Dr. Ariz Aftab has called an all-party meeting in Kolkata today to discuss the election campaign-related matters during the ongoing pandemic. The meeting is expected to be attended by leaders from all political parties contesting the West Bengal elections. It is likely to discuss measures to ensure COVID-appropriate behavior while campaigning during the remaining 4 phases of elections in the state. In the poll-bound West Bengal, all necessary preparations have been made for the 5th phase of polling in the assembly elections tomorrow. The polling will be conducted from 7 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. The Election Commission has decided to use voter-verifiable paper audit trail (VVPAT) along with electronic voting machine (EVM) at every polling station with a view to enhance the transparency and credibility of the election process. The Commission has deployed 853 companies of Central Armed Police Forces in West Bengal for the 5th phase. In view of the prevailing COVID-19 pandemic, the Election Commission has decided to allow maximum 1,000 electors in a polling station instead of the earlier stipulation of 1,500 electors. A total 319 candidates, including 39 women, will be vying for the 45 assembly seats spread over 6 districts, over 1.12 crore voters, including 55.80 lakh women and 234 third-gender persons, will decide the fate of these candidates. Here is a special report from our correspondent about polling in 3 districts of northern parts of West Bengal tomorrow.
The seats include 1 in Kalimpong, 5 in Darjeeling and 7 in Jalpaiguri. A total of 104 candidates, including 12 women, are in the fray in this phase. Over 18 lakh voters can exercise their voting rights at Jalpaiguri, while Kalimpong has 1.75 lakh voters. Over 12 lakh voters could vote at Darjeeling. There are a total of 1,719 polling booths at Darjeeling district. Polling personnel have started reaching their poll stations with materials. Adequate security measures are being taken to ensure peaceful polls in this phase. With Manas Pratim Sarma's report from Darjeeling, Tripti Srivastava, AIR News.
Polling will also be held tomorrow for the simultaneous by-elections of 2 Lok Sabha seats, including Tirupati in Andhra Pradesh and Belgaum in Karnataka, along with 12 assembly constituencies spread over 9 states. Meanwhile, in West Bengal, campaigning for the next phases of assembly elections is going on amid steep rise of COVID-19 cases. Senior BJP leader and Home Minister Amit Shah, Party President J.P. Nadda, Union Minister Babul Supriyo are taking part in various rallies and roadshows across the districts today. Union Home Minister Amit Shah campaigned in Tehata, Krishnanagar, Uttar Assembly constituencies today. He will be holding a roadshow in Barakpur and address a public meeting at Khardaha Assembly constituency. In the evening, he will address a town hall meeting in Kolkata in Priya Cinema and in Ganesh Chandra Avenue in Chaurungi Assembly segment. Trinamool Congress leader Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee is addressing 4 public meetings in Nadia and North 24 Parganas, while star campaigners of Sanjukta Morcha are addressing at street corners and taking part in door-to-door campaigning in support of candidates.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs of Maldives, Abdullah Shahid, met External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar today on the second day of his 2-day visit to India. During the meeting, both the foreign ministers discussed bilateral, regional and international issues of mutual interest. Maldivian Foreign Minister Mr. Shahid also participated in the Raisina dialogue yesterday in its virtual sessions on financing for sun and global public health after the pandemic. French Embassy has asked all its nationals and companies to leave Pakistan amid security threats. In an email to French citizens, the embassy said due to the serious threats to French interests in Pakistan, French nationals and companies are advised to temporarily leave the country. It said the departures will be carried out by existing commercial airlines.
India will receive normal rainfall this year during the monsoon season. Science, Technology and Earth Sciences Minister Dr. Harshvardhan today informed that the country will receive normal rainfall during the southwest monsoon season, which extends from June to September. He said India Meteorological Department IMD has projected that southwest monsoon rainfall over the country is most likely to be normal at 96 to 104% as per the long period average. The minister said an advanced and universally accepted multi-model ensemble forecasting system has been used this year, which applies a combination of different global climate models. Nagaland government is holding a consultative meeting with all the tribal ho-hos and civil organizations today at the State Banquet Hall, Chief Minister's Residential Complex, Kohima. The meeting is being held to deliberate on proper modalities and systems to achieve the objective of the Register of Indigenous Inhabitants of Nagaland.
Save the Elephant Day is being celebrated on April 16th every year to raise awareness about the dangers elephants face and various difficulties they have to overcome to live. A desk report.
Save the Elephant Day is established by the Elephant Reintroduction Foundation in Thailand. By spreading awareness, the general public can understand the significance and consequences of their actions or inactions on the future of elephants. At present, the population of pachyderms in our country, according to WWF, is around 20,000 to 25,000. Elephants are the wildlife idols, and the sad thing is that these lovely giants are in great crisis. Save the Elephants Day is the best opportunity to show our care and love for these wildlife icons and spread awareness about the threats to their future in Asia and Africa, ranging from ivory traders and loss of habitat. Ravi Kumar with Virendra Singh, AAR News.
Punjab Kings PBKS will take on the Chennai Super Kings CSK in the 2021 Indian Premier League at the Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai this evening. CSK has won 4 of the last 5 matches played between the two teams in the league. Chennai Super Kings holds the edge over Punjab Kings in IPL. They have won 14 out of 23 matches in the cash-rich league. Punjab Kings are not too far behind as they have also managed to win 9 matches against CSK, but in the previous season it was CSK who won the battle twice against PBKS.
The Sensex and the Nifty today logged modest gains in afternoon trade. The domestic stocks rose amid the gains in global equity markets as investors' sentiment boosted after the many big companies worldwide posted good profit in the last quarter. The Sensex at the Bombay Stock Exchange climbed 143 points or 0.29% to trade at 48,947. The Nifty at the National Stock Exchange also surged 80 points or 0.55% to trade at 14,662. The rupee at the foreign exchange market also strengthened 57 paise to 74 rupees and 36 paise against the US dollar in the afternoon deals. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. National capital Delhi is having a thunderstorm with rain. The maximum temperature will be around 38 degrees Celsius. The minimum was 23 degrees. Mumbai with a clear sky is likely to see a maximum temperature of around 35 degrees Celsius, rising from a lower level of 24 degrees. Kolkata having a partly cloudy sky with a possibility of development of thunder lightning. The city temperature will move from a minimum of 27 degrees Celsius to a maximum of around 38 degrees. Chennai is witnessing partly cloudy sky. The upper limit of temperature will be 31 degrees Celsius, while the lower limit was 25 degrees. Srinagar is facing generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. The temperature will hover between 7 and 12 degrees Celsius. Jammu is having mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The temperature will rise from a minimum of 20 degrees Celsius to a maximum of around 29 degrees. Leh with generally cloudy sky and the upper limit of temperature will be around 13 from minimum of 1 degree Celsius. Gilgit is having generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle, while temperature will move from a minimum of 11 to a maximum of 25 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad is having thunderstorm with rain. The temperature will increase from a minimum of 12 degrees Celsius to a maximum of around 25 degrees, and in Dehradun experiencing generally cloudy sky towards night with possibility of rain or thunder showers accompanied with squall or hail.
And now before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Government is fully prepared to deal with the growing challenges of the COVID pandemic, reassures Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan. Centre advises union ministries and their PSUs to dedicate their hospital beds for COVID-19 management in states and union territories. Over 11 crore 72 lakh doses of COVID vaccine administered in the country so far. Over 2,17,000 new COVID-19 cases reported in the past 24 hours. Complete lockdown on Sunday in entire Uttar Pradesh. Only emergency services and sanitation work allowed in the state. Essential Services Maintenance Act ESMA invoked in Chhattisgarh amid surge in COVID cases. Russia to deliver first batch of Sputnik V vaccine to India this month. All centrally protected monuments, sites and museums under Archaeological Survey of India closed till 15th May. All preparations in place for tomorrow's fifth phase polling of assembly elections in West Bengal, by-elections of 2 Lok Sabha seats and 12 assembly constituencies spread over 9 states. Election Commission to hold all-party meeting today in West Bengal to discuss election campaign during pandemic. India Meteorological Department projects normal rainfall in the country this year during monsoon season. And with that, we end the midday news.